Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about The Ultimatum Season 3, Episode 7.
Thank y'all for watching. We made it past 4,000 subscribers. We made it past 4,100 subscribers.
Yes, thank y'all.
But I have a new goal because I'm not satisfied. Help us get the 5,000 wow by the end of the year.
Okay.
I think we can get the 5,000 wow. Anything else, Blair?
No.
You ready to walk us through this episode?
I'm ready.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We appreciate y'all. Let's go.
All right. It's the changeover. Scotty and Zena talk first. Zena says that it started out great. His past isn't holding him back, and he really wants to be married. After guys' night, she felt interrogated, and he didn't know anything, talking about JR, about their trial marriage. Scotty says, you're going to feel away when your character is attacked. He cares what people thinks of him, and he thought that Zena inserted pettiness into their relationship. She does have qualities that will make a great wife. She helped him evolve in his view of marriage and commitment. He knows how important it is for her to be in the same team as her partner. I will say that JR did interject and said, like, oh, Petty Zena showed up, and Scotty was like, we're not going to do that. Like, she did have some positive qualities.
I'm about to say, JR, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like JR, like, like, this is your girl. Like Zena is your girl.
JR, I feel like, is just a color struck type of dude.
What? Help me with that.
Like, I feel like he really ascribes to the thought that white is right.
Okay.
And he was talking about how certain girls were mixed, and he was fine with that. Zena might be, and I think that's maybe why he's like cool with being with her. But I think that he has some self-hatred going on. Part of it probably because growing up, he was called ugly and all types of stuff. But I think he really has some type of weird self-hatred going on to where, white is like the cream of the crop. And if the girl is mixed, that's like right, underneath that tier. So I think and then by her saying like, oh, Petty Zena coming out, you could look at it as he knows her and he knows how she can get. But I think, honestly, that's a dig to her being black. Yeah. So
here's the thing. I don't understand JR. Sometimes I be yelling at the screen, JR, is anybody home upstairs? And I don't think there is. I think JR is just there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
So we've got Caleb and Arya. Yeah. Caleb stepped into the process, learned a lot. He was not trying to pursue Arya romantically. They were able to show up as they were, and they were actually able to build a friendship.
Oh, Arya plan is falling in front of her face.
Arya was able to hone in on the reasons as to why she's not ready to be married. Yeah. Caleb is calm. He's good at listening. He was able to calm her storm when she was upset, and he made her feel seen and enough.
That is very important. And maybe that is the depth of her daddy issues and things like that. Who knows? I'm guessing.
Not feeling enough.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But Caleb did not do anything, right?
He was nice.
It just shows how much of a storm is Scotty. How much of a handful is Scotty that Caleb can literally just sit there and just be.
Yeah.
Caleb didn't do anything special. Caleb talked to her, joke around with her and things like that. Didn't put these expectations on her, anything like that to make her feel less than. And then she's looking at Caleb like, I feel seen. I wish that you was like my boyfriend. It is like, well, I was just being nice. Yeah. It's their friendship. And it's like, I think all of that is really a shot at Scotty and for us to get a really POV of who Scotty really is.
Yeah. Well, Mariah wants to gauge where they're at. So she asks Arya straight up, do you want my man? And Arya says he has the qualities that she wants. She's like, does that answer your question? And Mariah says, I'll just have to process that. Because to me, that would not answer my question. I need a yes or a no. Do you want my man?
Come on now.
Because you're being vague.
Blair.
You're being vague.
People like my qualities, okay? That's all, okay? It's just qualities.
And I think Arya was being purposely vague because I think she was trying to mess with Mariah's head. Even though she knew Caleb wasn't trying to pursue her romantically, Arya's been having fun twisting the knife in Mariah a little bit. So Mariah has been focusing on herself.
Oh, she really had no choice.
Yeah. Nick didn't anticipate seeing Sandy and getting emotional. He was in a bad place after learning they kissed. Well, Zena didn't know that they kissed, and she asked who initiated it. JR said that it was mutual. He said that they didn't have any boundaries when they came into the show. He said he would not come onto the show if they had boundaries. And he embraced the experience fully. Well, Zena wanted to see how much respect he would have for the relationship. And she would have hoped that he would have had some type of boundaries within himself. Well, he didn't realize he was being tested. Nick didn't realize that he could lose Sandy until this experience. And JR goes on to say that Sandy is the full package. He met her mom. He was even invited to Christmas. He might come this year.
Wow.
She's the best active listener he's met in his entire life. And he feels she likes him. They're both amazing in their ways, talking about Sandy and Zena.
Yeah.
Well, any thoughts before we move on to what Sandy felt?
First of all, JR, shut up. Like truth be told, we seen the conversations, we seen the interactions. I don't know how you got all of that from Sandy. Maybe it's more in line of what Blair said. Maybe this is how you feel about, in general and things like that. So the full package, I don't understand what that means. Yeah. I really don't know, but it's just words. Also, one thing that we learned about JR is that JR don't like boundaries. Like, he likes to be free, but he don't like no boundaries, such as, hey, I feel like as a guy, I should be able to post whatever I want on Instagram, but like, I'm not posting my girl, but she got post me and things like that. Oh, I wouldn't agree to come on a show like this if I had boundaries. So it's like, JR believes, and that's why I want my sisters to wake up, my sisters from another mister. JR believes he is the prize. Z treats him as if he's the prize. So it's like there's no balance there, and it's weird. It's just a weird dynamic between them two.
Well, Sandy appreciated her experience with him.
Yeah.
JR knows that she went through hell with Nick blowing up her phone. And Nick says, look, she communicated with me consistently.
Yes, she did.
Sandy said that she was trying to manage his emotions, and yes, she did share that he missed him at some point.
Don't bury the lead.
Nick knows that he made mistakes, but he's trying to grow.
Yeah.
Sandy doesn't, it says it doesn't seem like it. Well, Caleb pipes up, which JR didn't appreciate, and said that Nick came into the guys' night, apologized to JR, but JR kept taking jabs at Nick. And JR tells him, don't poke your head in our business. And he was showing up at our door. You don't know what you're talking about, Caleb. Nick says, fine, keep ragging on me when I'm down. Sandy says that his behavior has gotten so bad that she had to block him. JR didn't think it was an authentic apology, and he's lucky that she didn't block him day one. Sandy starts crying.
Why?
Everyone sees him in a positive way, talking about Nick, but he's been attacking her this whole process. If a peck is illegal, then why would you bring me here? An emotional connection has been built with JR. My thoughts
Go ahead.
Is that Sandy, like I said, likes to play these manipulative games. She was talking to Nick. She was egging Nick on, talking about, I was just trying to manage his emotions. And Nick was like, you were reaching out to me first at some point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sandy, you're playing both sides. JR is being a total butthole because he's over here acting like he really took Nick's girl. You really did not take Nick's girl.
No.
You I don't know what you took as far as her body. But Sandy is not trying to be with you for real.
No.
And that's why he got in his feelings when he was like, well, like Dana said that that you were saying that you weren't really into me. Was all of that real or was it fake? And Sandy, how she like lies.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, so my thing is everybody's trash.
Listen, I was laughing at Caleb. Caleb was like, look, man, the first thing Nick did was apologize and things of that nature, like, and then JR trying to pipe up at Caleb, and Caleb basically just ejected himself from the conversation, like, I don't even care that much.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. And my thing is, JR, I don't know what it is about this guy. I'm tired of this code switching voice that I've been hearing for 7 episodes now. I don't know who the real JR is. I'm just lost and I think I'm leaning more towards Blair analysis to what he believes is basically the cream of the crop. You get what I'm saying? It's weird.
So it is time for a trial marriage with the original partners.
Yeah.
We've got Sandy and Nick. They are already hugging and kissing back at the house.
Okay.
He says that they have a deep spiritual connection and she is his soulmate. He realizes how much he's been lacking. She used to interact with him the way he saw her interacting with JR. And Sandy tells them that you being alone has been unleashing all these demons in your head. Well, Nick was hurt about the kissing.
Yeah.
And Sandy tells him he was being possessive and controlling. They both chose the process. He did lose himself. He's in love with her. And if he continues these behaviors, he will walk away so that way she doesn't have to deal with it. Well, Sandy loves and cares about him, and she didn't want him to feel alone, like she wasn't there for him.
I wonder, does he trick on her?
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, because I'm like, for you to invest your full being, I will hope a guy his age will be more confident in himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the way he crashed out, the way that he was spiraling, it's almost as if you find your worth being with this young girl. And it's weird. I'm like, yo, you're older. Like, she should be aspiring to be the way you are, confident in character, probably where like you are, like more stable in life and things like that. But you just seem very like, I don't know, maybe he have some mommy issues or whatever issues he got in his life, because how he's basically like pouring his whole being into this girl is weird, as like from a man perspective. Like Sandy, I'm not saying Sandy should be doing what he's doing, but he's like, you are my soulmate, you are my everything. I basically was lost, and it's like, yo, get a hold of yourself. Where's your coof at? You know what I mean? It's weird.
So we go to Arya and Scotty. Arya wants to bring the fun back into their relationship, some less seriousness. Scotty says that she works a lot. They're not in the same city. And what's the point of doing all of that if you're not sharing it with the person that you care about?
Yeah.
What worked with Zena is that they spent a lot of time together. Well, Arya does say that Scotty does take the time to plan dates. Scotty was surprised that there was no physical connection between Arya and Caleb.
Yeah.
Arya thinks that he was attracted to her. That's why Mariah was insecure. The emotional connection is what made her feel deeper for him. Caleb was calm, and Scotty's passion during arguments can be crazy. Now, when it comes to them, number one, Arya was trying to talk about bringing the fun back in the relationship, and where did Scotty take the conversation?
Exactly. The opposite.
The absolute opposite way, because this man does not want peace.
No.
This man wants strife in his life. And he's talking about, well, you do this and you live over there, and that's why we can't have fun, and this is, why things work with Zena is because we actually spent time together. Yeah, Scotty, you don't want peace. You don't want to have a good time with your girlfriend. Like, you want to argue. Yeah. And then when it comes to the Arya Caleb situation, I'm kind of getting annoyed with Arya and Scotty talking about, oh, I don't see how Caleb wasn't into me. I don't see how Caleb wasn't into you, and all this type of stuff. Whether he was or he wasn't, he doesn't want to pursue you.
He don't.
So it really doesn't matter if he comes out and says, oh, I did find Arya attractive. So what? Like, I don't want to be with her. I want to be with Mariah. Yeah. So I think that they're tripping a little bit off of maybe their perception of Arya and maybe like the fact that she, she's a beautiful woman. Yeah. But I don't know why we're like getting stuck on the fact of whether Caleb was attracted or not. Yeah. I don't know.
Not to put my black sister down, but she's not special. I see Aryas all the time, right? And the thing about it is, you have to look at them as a unit when it comes to self-esteem, right? Meaning that Scotty, when he was talking to the group at the men's night, he's basically like, no heterosexual man would just want to be friends with Arya. Like, they will find her attractive and want to be with her, not because of how beautiful he believes that she is and things like that to build her self-esteem. Is to basically pat himself on the back, right?
Oh, like, this is what I got.
Like, this is what I got. And guess what? Guys will want my girl because look at my girl. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that she looks for any type of approval from him, right? So of course she's gonna feel kind of echo what he says, because if he is saying like, you are the most beautiful girl in the world, and people want you and you're mine and things like that, she's just gonna repeat what she's been hearing, but she don't understand the source of why Scotty's saying it. Scotty's not saying it because he really wants Arya to believe that she's beautiful and she's all these things independently from him. She's like, you are with me, and that bigs me up. So I think that's why Arya kind of feels like, maybe it's something there with Caleb, but because all she's been hearing is like, you're this and you're that, you're this and you're that. But I think it all comes from her seeking approval from Scotty. And that's why, like, when she first came in, whatever, she can say something, but at the end of the day, she's going to yield to whatever Scotty wants to do. Because she came in and said, can we have more fun? And like you said, Blair, he came in with the total opposite of fun, right? Z or anybody else would have been like, this is not the fun I'm talking about. Yeah. Eject from the conversation.
Exactly.
But she gave into the conversation because this is what Scotty wants to do. So it wasn't even so that thing that she said about Caleb at the beat up and things like that I feel heard. Yeah. Right? The first thing she says, I want to have fun. Well, guess what? I don't hear you. I'm Scotty.
Exactly.
So it's like, so she's getting back to the normality of their relationship. And the only piece that she had from Scotty is when she go home. Because they don't live close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I know that was a little confusing, but just follow me.
Well, Mariah and Caleb are back together.
Yeah.
Mariah had a lot of questions about the dynamic between Caleb and Arya.
Yeah.
Hearing Arya, she's wondering if maybe it was more than a friendship and Caleb's not being all the way honest. Let me just pause here.
Help me.
I'll read this part. Caleb says there was patience and understanding, but there's really nothing to read into it. I am the type of person to where I like to know everything.
Yes, you are.
And so I can understand why Mariah or Scotty would be like, there was really nothing between y'all. Because even watching, they did have a chemistry. But the point is, which bothers me about guys, is y'all like to stick to the point of a situation.
Sorry.
Versus giving me the backstory and the thought process and everything like that. So even if there was a chemistry between Caleb and Arya, like I said before, Caleb says, what's the point of saying that? I don't want the girl.
That is true.
But everyone else might be like, but didn't y'all have a connection? And Caleb doesn't want to admit to it because knowing Mariah, that would make her feel insecure.
Yeah.
So he is thinking to himself, and this is me totally putting words in his mouth. And this is the perspective I believe, that yes, Caleb found Arya attractive. Yes, he enjoyed his time he spent with her. He does not want Mariah to feel upset or small or anything. So he is not going to put out there that they had that connection because he wants to be with Mariah and he wants her to feel good about the fact that he wants her and only her. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay.
Is that so wrong, Blair?
It's not honest 100%, but I don't fault him for that because he's letting his intentions be known.
Yeah.
Mariah, you are my intentions. Arya, we are friends.
Yeah.
And these are my intentions regardless of what I might feel or have felt, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think when it comes to your analysis, I think it was really good and very spot on in some instances. When it comes to like wanting to know everything, Blair is someone that wants to know everything. And I am not the type to tell everything. Right. I'm very straight to the point. And I think what happens is that one thing that you said in your analysis is really the flaw in why a lot of guys probably don't say anything, because you already came to a conclusion in your analysis of Mariah that Mariah is probably thinking that, why don't you just admit that we had chemistry? And to a guy, he's like, no, we didn't. I was just nice. Like, to us, it can really mean nothing. Right. It's really not a big deal to us. And I understand that it's not for us, if I was to empathize from y'all perspective, that it's not for us to say what is a big deal. It's up to y'all to make it a big deal or not. It's just for us to just tell the information. Yeah. But I don't want to go down these rabbit holes. like because at the end of the day, you're making me talk about something that's not a big deal to me. You're making me talk about some type of chemistry that you believe we have, right? Because everybody keep talking to Caleb, talking about, oh, he felt something, and Caleb is telling you to your face that I'm just friends, and you're like, well, how can a guy like be nice and laugh and joke and be in the bed, hold hands, rub shoulders, and do all these things and not have chemistry? And I would say, welcome to being a guy 101. We can do that. It's something called, we can compartmentalize. Like, I can be nice to somebody, I can hug somebody, I can joke with somebody and still love my wife 100% and not even think about that person, right? So I think what you're seeing from Caleb is something that I'm guessing from this perspective from episode 7, because we've seen episode 8, but from episode 7, I think he's like, I know you, I don't want to do this. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I know you, and it's really nothing. And I can see how tiring it is when you tell somebody that it's nothing and they say, I don't believe you 100%. It's like, well, what do I supposed to do? One of my favorite sayings that I say in our relationship, me and Blair have been together for a while, I said, well, the truth don't need defending. I'm never will argue about the truth. I will say something and I will say, Blair, that was nothing, or Blair, that was something. And Blair may say, well, I don't believe you. And I say, well, I don't know what to do with that. Because it's like, the truth is the truth. I'm not going to yell it. I'm not going to, it just is what it is. And I think Caleb, I think we are seeing a glimpse into their relationship when it comes to you always do this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And me, honestly, I actually put fault on Caleb, to be honest, because I don't think he's as transparent with his emotions. I think he suppresses it, and it comes out in other ways, and it comes out in short answers. It comes out in his temperament. It comes out in other ways that are toxic, that is not leading to a good relationship. So he's contributing to the bad relationship as well as Mariah may be. But he just comes off as very fatigued. You get what I'm saying?
Well, Mariah feels like someone isn't being that forthcoming or truthful because Arya expressed that Caleb has some of the qualities of a husband she would like.
Yeah.
And the thing with Mariah, I'm like, Arya is playing mind games with you.
Yeah.
And she does want some of the qualities that Caleb has, but as far as her wanting Caleb, it doesn't matter if she wants him or not because Caleb don't want her.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb says that, that's just her noticing the same qualities that you notice and why you want to marry me. Like, I have good qualities. I'm a decent person sometimes. And then Mariah tells him, does she have the asks him, does she have the qualities in a wife that you're looking for? And he says some.
Yeah. And my thing is, I feel like Mariah would take that and go cry in the corner.
Yeah.
And it's like qualities is not only tailored to you, right? There are nice people out there. I look for a nice wife. I got one, right? Does that mean that because I got the nice wife that nobody else got a nice wife? I have the market and I have the monopoly on nice wives and things of that nature? No.
Yeah.
She has some qualities and things like that the same way as I have qualities. Like, come on, Mariah, let me go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He's just trying to read his book.
I know, right?
We got Zena and Jr. They are kissing, but she pauses to say, I don't know where your lips have been. And he wipes them off a little bit. She starts crying because it was a messed up way for her to find out that that's how the time had went that he had gotten physical with Sandy.
Yeah.
She thought because she knew him so well and how committed he was that wouldn't be an option. And she asked him what else happened. He says that they kissed twice. The second time she initiated it, they cuddled as well. And he asked if that will ruin everything. She's upset, but she can't hold him accountable for it because they were technically broken up.
Yeah.
He says that they caught feelings, but he doesn't have feelings anymore. They broke up and he's probably not going to leave here with her. Zena asked, does he want to be with Sandy? And we didn't get to see a response.
Yeah. I just feel very emotionless coming from JR. I'm not saying that he needs to cry with his girl, but it just more like he just seems like he just there. It's like even though he gave her a tissue or whatever it was, or he wiped his mouth with a tissue. I actually don't even know if he gave her a tissue. But the whole point is this is your girl. She's crying. I'm not saying cry with her, but it just seemed like he just wasn't there for her while he was physically there, but he wasn't there to basically help her with her emotions. It's like he answered the questions, but he just didn't really give emotion behind
it. And behavior and stuff like that.
Help me.
I feel like, and I'm not a therapist, y'all, but I would kind of describe him as having a flat affect.
Okay, help me.
Basically not very expressive, not really showing much emotion, just very here are the words that I'm saying and here's the tissue that you seem like you need because you're crying.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna jump on a limb.
Help me.
Psychopaths be like that. Okay. Psychopaths be like that. Or is it sociopaths? I don't remember. So there's one to where they're very charming and you don't notice that you're in a relationship with a crazy person. But then there's ones to where they're literally emotionless and they feel nothing, so they can do anything to you. Maybe kind of like a narcissist as well. I'm not saying that JR is that, but the fact that you cannot really read him or really gain a true genuine understanding of where he's coming from, and he just kind of says words very flat. I don't know what is true and what's not. I can't gauge that. And I feel like Zena, because she's with him, just believes everything he says, but he just does not give genuine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's that term you say?
A flat affect.
Flat aff. To say it again?
Flat affect.
Okay, I never heard that before.
So we go to Arya and Scotty. She wants to be with the Scotty that sees her. She wants him to have awareness in the banter that they used to have. She's still talking about having fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
She attempt number 2, right?
Attempt number 2 for us to have fun.
Yeah.
Scotty questions, if they had that, the person she spent with doesn't have the emotional baggage that their relationship has. Arya didn't want to be married to someone who doesn't see where they could be better and doesn't hear out when she says they're hurting her.
Yeah.
He cared more about defending himself than understanding her. And Scotty says that he doesn't hide anything. There was a romantic connection with Zena, but they never approached that connection just as friends. Caleb suggesting it as a friendship is strange, and Scotty doesn't buy it. Well, she tries to speak up. He's short with her, saying, "Let me finish." And Arya tells him, if you don't want to propose because of the emotional connection I have with somebody else, that's on you.
But he was going off with the "let me finish."
Yeah, he was turning up.
He was like,
quite a bit.
Like, you always do this.
Yeah.
Let me finish, please. And it just comes off as, and Arya, guess what you did? You did the opposite of what I told you to do last episode. You sat there and took it. And truth be told, this is one of my favorite sayings that I said, that I came up with personally, especially when it comes to my black sisters. Listen, you are not strong based on how much punishment you can take. Don't define your strength that way. Sometimes, and most of the time, strength is getting up and walking away and be like, you know what? You're having a temper tantrum. I'm out. And truth be told, the same way as he is quote unquote talking about he don't believe the connection that Caleb and Arya was so pure. I don't believe that Scotty and Z had a romantic connection, to be honest, right? I think the only connection that they had was that they were the ones that offered the ultimatum.
Yeah.
Other than that, Z left you the last night. So it's like, the thing about Scotty is he is insecure. And I'm going to go in depth of what type of guy Scotty is in the next episode. Because once I saw it in episode 8, it was very clear what type of guy Scotty is. And Arya is in danger. She's in very big danger. Because there are guys, and this may seem kind of crazy to say, but trust me, I know as a guy, right? There are guys out here whose main objective in life is to tear down women. Period. There's nothing surface level about it. There's nothing deep about it. It's just flat out straight to the point. There's men out here whose objective in life, not like cars, money, in life, is to tear down women.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Mariah and Caleb says that you're hyper focused on Arya's intentions. It's consumed enough of their day, and he just wants to enjoy her and talk about something else.
Yeah.
Mariah just wants to talk about the relationship, and he says, could we possibly do check-ins bi-weekly or monthly so I don't have to hear this every day?
Yeah.
Mariah tells him, you think I'm here to place blame, but it's really them against the problem. But Caleb feels like she's focused on finding problems with him. Mariah tells him maybe she can tell him, she wants to talk to him as a friend, and maybe that can change the context of the conversation.
Yeah.
And he says that's awkward because we should already be coming from that perspective. She's asking him why he's getting short with her, and Caleb says, have you been like this the whole time? Like, let's just appreciate our time together. Yeah. And Mariah ends up walking away.
Here's the thing. A lot of people can look at this scene and say, Caleb, why are you like being short with her like that, right? I can see it from Caleb's perspective and from Mariah's perspective, right? I think they are in something called a rut, right? A rut, right? To where they don't know what the problem is, right? So Caleb don't know that his problem is he's fatigued. He's tired, right? Her problem is we don't talk about the problem, but I don't really know what the problem is. It just don't feel good. Like the problem is not that like he don't want to marry her and things like that, even though she brought him there for that reason and things of that nature. But she's like, it just don't feel good. And she wants to feel good and he wants to feel good. And I think they are in a position to where maybe they need to go to therapy. You get what I'm saying? Go to a professional,
like a third party.
Yeah, not
counselor.
Nick and Vanessa on the ultimatum, right? They are just in my opinion, I think it's normal to be in a relationship even for a year, 2 years, and you're like in this valley point in a relationship to where you don't know why like her voice frustrates you. You don't know why his voice frustrates you. You don't know why things are just not easy. You get what I'm saying? It was easy and now it's not. And I think he's tired and he don't want to break up with Mariah because he's like, Mariah's not a bad person. Like, I want to be with her, but I don't want to be tired. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, we have problems. I want to talk about the problem. Okay, if I call myself a friend, can we talk about the problem now? And she just so quick and so heavy-handed, in my opinion, with trying to fix it. And I think it's a problem for a therapist or a third party, as Blair said, to fix.
Yeah, for me, I kind of just see it as a difference between men and women's communication styles.
Okay.
I feel like Caleb has already identified the issue when he says that you keep talking to me about Arya's intentions.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with me. I don't want to be with Arya. So what are we still talking about?
Facts.
Versus Mariah, who is feeling uneasy, who
Mm-hmm.
wants to talk through the issue, talk through her feelings, and really try to feel like Caleb understands her, is compassionate to where she's coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and he can kind of help her work through those emotions. Whereas I feel like a lot of the times with guys, y'all work through your emotions independently,
Mm-hmm.
and then you bring like the end result, unless you're Nick,
Okay.
and then you bring the end result to your partner to where you're more stable and calm versus kind of working through the problem.
Yeah.
So I just think that's the difference. Mariah wants to work through and talk through her emotions with her partner,
Mm-hmm.
and Caleb is saying that I don't want that girl.
Mm-hmm.
What are we still talking about this for? You know? So
You about to make Caleb crash out and say, F that girl. Really? Like, you know?
And I think that's just a thing of just a difference in the sexes. And as far as like advice for it, I mean, I don't know, because I find myself, wanting to talk through things with my husband that
Mm-hmm.
maybe I should like work through independently a little bit first. But I'm just like, I like bouncing things off of you. But he might get tired of it. And it's just like, why are we still talking? It's 2 hours later.
I'm like, go to God, please. Go pray.
Go pray.
like, please.
And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should pray about this. And
free
then
me. Okay. You know what I mean?
Come to my husband. So it's just like, I don't think this was such a awful interaction. I think it's just a thing of
No, it's normal.
It's just two people just trying to get on the same page, but they're coming at it in different ways.
Yeah.
So.
And I think Caleb can help to be a little bit more open, but it is kind of weird. And I never experienced this. I never experienced this with Blair, at least, right? Like Blair never asked me about another girl. Because I do my part in the relationship of making sure she ain't got to ask about another girl, right? Mm-hmm. But I really can empathize with somebody wanting to talk about someone that I genuinely don't care about.
Yeah,
I don't want to have a conversation about Arya, right?
Yeah.
Now you're making me sound like a mean person,
yes.
And I'm about to say F this black girl that I was with, and I can kind of see to your analysis, Caleb point of like, you want to talk about the relationship when it pertains to Arya and our true feelings and what we did. And he's like, I just did the show.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do anything special. You get what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Well, we get to Sandy and Nick.
Yeah.
She was wanting quality time before the process. He wouldn't give it to her. He is changing that now, but she has to kind of get sped up to the point that he is changing. Mm-hmm. But she feels like it's a little bit like love bombing.
Yeah.
Nick says that they need to get back to being intimate. Mm-hmm. And Sandy has made a decision not to be intimate with Nick because she has such a strong connection with JR, and she's trying to process things right now.
What are your thoughts on that?
That thing that got stretched out.
Oh my goodness. That thing got stretched out?
That thing done got stretched out. No, but for real, I think that she was intimate with JR, and I think that she probably wants to wait a little bit before she wants to, get it popping with her man again. Maybe, get some tests or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But that's how I take it. And allegedly, I could be totally wrong, but that's how I see it.
The way I see it is, Nick, you come off as a little poor puppy dog. You get what I'm saying? Like, basically, you trying to hey, can I have some sex, please? You get what I'm saying? And it just comes off as very weird. And Blair made a great point. Caleb may deal with his emotions independently, but Nick takes us on the whole roller coaster together.
We don't need to be on a whole roller coaster.
We see the whole thing. And I'm like, get me off this ride with Nick. So I have nothing to add. I think Sandy, I don't believe anything about Sandy's intentions of why she do things in the first place. No. So if she says she's doing it to process, I'm like, no, I don't believe nothing you say.
Mm-hmm. Back with Zena and JR, as long as nothing else happens, she can get over the kiss. Okay. They just need to focus on each other and discuss what's holding them back. Yeah. Well, JR talks about, as a married man, he can well, he's talking about in the future, if they end up getting married, he wouldn't be able to do what he feels like he can do now, which is like get up and move for opportunities, because he would want to protect and provide for his family, but wouldn't want to take those types of risks.
Yeah.
As far as Zane is concerned, you know, in a marriage, it's about building a life together, making those decisions together, and taking the risk together. JR knows that she's ready for a marriage and family. He still loves Zena, and losing her is hard to think about.
I don't believe him.
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
Well, with Arya and Scotty, they're making sushi. They have not lived together the whole time in their relationship. She's seeing how that could be as far as this trial marriage, and she feels their conversations and disagreements have been more productive and healthy.
Okay.
She don't know what healthy is.
She don't know.
Back with Sandy and Nick, she's crying. It's been overwhelming the past few weeks. He's comforting her and telling her that he will be there to catch her when she falls. It can be hard for her to speak up, and he says, you know, you do it when you're mad. So maybe try doing it before you explode, so that way we can get on the same page.
Okay.
Well, Sandy tells her that, you know, he's her home, her family, so it feels good having him there.
I don't believe nothing that comes out of Sandy's mouth.
I don't either.
Let's keep going.
Mariah and Caleb. So it's still tense in their home. Mariah doesn't feel Caleb meets her in a place of understanding of why she's communicating certain things. When she expresses herself, he will take it like she's saying like he's lacking something. He'll shut down, and it's hard to get through to him. She doesn't know how for them to get back good. And, you know, she also wants him to come and hug her. Well, he doesn't know why he needs to hug her when he's feeling judged.
Yeah.
He says that he'll be more comfortable coming to her once the issues have been resolved. With them in this type of situation, to me, I think it's still just kind of like normal relationship disagreement and misunderstanding. I think that she is needing more support in her emotions. Yeah. And she is coming... The thing is, we're not hearing the exact conversations of what she's saying to him. So it's hard to say how heavy-handed she's being. But the way that he's taking it is that it's judgmental and she's coming down hard on him. And if she is feeling... I guess my only advice would be like kind of to express your emotions without pointing the finger at him. And I don't know if that is what she's doing and he's just taking it the wrong way. It's hard to decipher without the full information.
Yeah.
So
is this the conversation where she was like I think the world of you and things like that?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I think she understands that he gets the brunt of all of her emotions and things like that. And even when she basically like, why haven't you hugged me? Now he got to put the laptop aside because now she's crying and now he got to hug her. Now he got to cater to her feelings again, right? I just see Caleb as being fatigued. If the conversations are going how I think they are going in my head, any guy would be tired.
Yeah.
He'll be like, listen here, man, I got to deal with this. I got to deal with that. And I think he's prolonging of, hey, we're not ready to get married right now because I think he's trying to wait. I think he's trying to wait her out of like, maybe she'd grow out of this. You know what I mean? Like maybe like this is just a stage in her life. And he has no legitimate reason. And this is actually a dangerous place for guys or anybody to be in, especially women and guys actually. But well, that's two people. Yeah. But it's a dangerous position to where you don't want to be in a relationship no more with this person, but they didn't do nothing for the relationship to end. And it's kind of like they're a good person, but I'm just not happy. Yeah. And I don't think Caleb is happy, right? But I don't think he's using his unhappiness as reasons why he should break up with her. That's why I think he's waiting her out, right? Hoping that something would change. But it's a dangerous place where he just like, this is a good person. I know she's a good person. But like when she get into these cycles, it just makes the relationship feel as heavy. And it just reminds, like, I'll be having these good days. And I'll be feeling good. But then when she have her emotional days and she even said, you feel the brunt of the emotion, it's like, yo, the brunt hurts. The brunt is a lot. You get what I'm saying? It's like, do I want to commit to a lifetime of this? And I think he's waiting her out because I don't think he has the answer, to be honest. Right. I think he wants to be with her. But there's always that thing in the back of his mind, like, as long as I'm not married to her, and especially since we don't have no kids, I can leave if it gets really, really, really bad. But right now, I'm just not happy. Yeah. And that's normal. So
we see all the couples get together.
Yeah.
Nick is nervous to see JR again. Well, Nick and JR actually have the same tattoo. Yeah. Fortune favors the bold. and JR thinks that Nick was trying to copy him. He's kind of joking about that in the confessional.
Yeah.
JR and Sandy have a one-on-one chat. He thinks he's grown from the process, and he thinks that they connected on a deep level. Sandy has told Zena that it was strictly friends. And Sandy said, I just told Zena not to worry about it. And she kind of wanted to protect Zena. She didn't really want to brag to her face. She felt like JR needed to handle that situation, take ownership of that situation.
Okay.
And JR asked, so were we playing house or was there actually something there? And Sandy tells him it was genuine. They did connect on a romantic level.
Yeah.
JR can see Sandy as a life partner and he is feeling conflicted. Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm just like, I don't like either of them.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just like, Sandy, you tell whoever's in front of your face, you just tell them what you think they want to hear. So I don't know whether she's coming or going, and I really don't care.
Me neither. I don't care either.
Yeah. Well, Nick and Zena chat. He apologized for how things came out about the kiss and the changeover.
Yeah.
Zena was upset to learn that, but from his perspective, he was caught up in the moment, and she talks about the second kiss, which sent Nick into a tailspin. Nick, when he gets with Sandy, asks if there's anything that she hasn't shared. And she said, well, you didn't directly ask me if anything else happened. And he tells her that's BS.
That is BS. Trust me, we've been on this roller coaster.
Yeah.
We know.
So the second kiss comes out. She said she wanted to wait until after filming. And he said, so after I proposed to you? Well, she's mad at him. Because she was caught up in the moment. They were broken up. Nick gets it, but he does not want to be around her. He says that she is such a liar. He leaves the apartment and he's thinking that when was she going to tell me? Now he's not even sure about proposing.
You shouldn't be.
He ends up going back into the apartment and tells her that you lied to me about this the entire time. And that's when she says, I was going to tell you after filming.
Here's the thing about it, right? She likes to flip the tables the minute that Nick basically corner her and say, so the second kiss, so things like that. Any information that you didn't tell me, and then she tried to flip it on him like, well, you know how you are basically a roller coaster, and he's like, no, don't even do that. You are a liar. Now the problem is you came back to the apartment, Nick. That's the problem, right? Here's the thing: people who wants to control other people's emotions and things of that nature, that in order for them to do that, they need a person to control.
Yeah.
Don't be that person. He should have left her right there because she already admitted that, hey, if she wasn't going to tell you about a kiss that she had, do you think she's going to tell you about any other things that's more than a kiss?
Right.
So that's why I'm like, the fact that she was going to tell you after the engagement or like whatever it was, if there was going to be an engagement after the filming, just let you know she's not an honest person.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Couldn't have said it any better. And that's it for the episode.
Listen, we got one more episode after this before, the next batch of episodes. Thank y'all for sticking around. Subscribe, like, share, comment. We see y'all next time.
Bye.